What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. Today I wanted to talk about some quick tips and tricks on how to succeed in Omega Waves in the Isle of Dread update for Dungeon Defenders 2. Now first off, an Omega Wave is a new 6th wave that you'll start getting every time you do the Lost Temple map, or it appears like it's every time anyway, from floor 59 and up. Some people have said that they found it sooner. However, most of the confirmed sources that I have checked with, including myself, have all said it starts at floor 59. Now, what an Omega Wave is, like I said, is that 6th wave, and each lane is all bosses. So the very first thing you can do to prepare for one of these Omega Waves is plan as you're building out the map. You know that it's going to be there, as when you first load into the map, it'll show that you've got 6 waves to complete, so you know an Omega Wave is happening. So if you save a little bit of DU each wave and each lane that opens, that will give you some additional DU at the end, where you can buff up those lanes and get them prepared for the Omega Wave and all these bosses. Now, say you did what I did right here, and I'm at 3,000 of 3,000 defense units spent. I've used all of my DU. One thing to note right away, there are no flyers on Omega Waves. You see the flyer lane is still lit up, and it still has a squiggly. However, there is no billboard discussing what's coming out, and it's because there's nothing up there. So, first thing you should do before you start each Omega Wave is sell all of your anti-air, as you just don't need it unless you're using some sort of a knockup build. If you're using a standard build, no air is required, so go through, sell your air, and free up some defense units. As you see, I've got quite a few Skyguards in the mix here, as I did have some really heavy air lanes, so I'm going to make sure to get all that DU back in my control. Now, as you see here, that freed up 250 defense units, which is a nice chunk of change, no doubt about it. Now, moving right on into tip number 3, look at the mobs that are coming. Go through and look at each individual wave and recognize how fast particular bosses are. For example, the fastest boss, of course, is going to be Nash, or the Lady Orc boss, and then the slowest is going to be the Siege Rollers. With that in mind, remember that if you focus the lanes that have the fast mobs first, you can save lanes like those Siege Rollers for last, and as long as you're conscious that they're going to be shooting rockets at you the whole time, you have tons and tons of time to deal with them. Now, a straight up gift you can get on these Mega Waves is having multiple lanes with Siege Rollers. The reason being is they move so slow, you've got just a million years before you need to get over there and kill them. Now, also, while looking through and expecting what mobs are coming out of what lanes, always keep an eye out on some key mobs that could make life miserable for you. First off, I already discussed Nash. She is the quickest, and that girl will run right to your core pretty darn fast if you're not ready for it. Next off, we all know Yetis. Yetis can freeze up your stuff, and having 3 of them in a row like this can be quite the handful. And then, of course, Bastille Masters. Bastille Masters will throw up that reflect beam and reflect the damage back onto your defenses and destroy them, so be very conscious of Bastille Masters as well. Now remember, all of these bosses are keeping the lane mutators that are already there, so you do still have to be set up based off of the mutator. And last but not least, the last tip is don't be afraid to use walls. We've kind of turned this into a wall-less metagame right now, and if you get into the higher onslaught floors, Trendy was not joking when they said the difficulty scales quickly. As you'll see here by these bosses, I'm only on floor 84, and these guys are quite meaty, and in fact they're healthier than any boss I saw at floor 257 in the old onslaught system. So never hesitate to throw down some walls, and I am going to do just that. Now, I don't have any super walls all set up. I'm actually using my Snake Mystic to do it. As you see, I've going with defense range. Actually, I've got a campaign totem. I should probably address that. Let's do it. Let's put that on there. And then I'm going with Deadly Strikes and Vampiric Empowerment. A wall, anything there. You can see it's been a while since I've used any walls. So these walls are not going to be the meatiest out there. However, they should still get the job done. Now I've got a Game Ogre lane right here. We all know ogres are meaty. So I'm going to throw down a couple of walls right there. Actually, let's just go with one, just to kind of cause a little bit of a roadblock. And hopefully the ogres will stop to mash on that wall. Now, in addition to that, we've got that Lady Orc lane, remember? And the Lady Orcs, Nash will come out and destroy my walls. I have no doubt in my mind about that. However, I do want to slow that girl up just a bit, as she just moves too darn quick. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a wall right there as well. And then, let's see, we've got the Siege Roller lane. That one should be pretty straightforward. The Bastilles. The Yetis. Do I want to do anything on the Yeti? I think I'm not even going to bother with the Yeti, and let's just stick with ogres. I still have lots of DU left, so let's get back over and throw a wall down on this ogre lane too, just to kind of prepare for what's coming. And then I think I'll probably be in pretty good shape as far as walls go. The rest of these mobs should die pretty readily. So I think next I'm going to go to the Yeti lanes and just make sure those lanes are all jacked up. Now you see I've still got plenty of DU left, so I think just to ease the pain a little bit, why don't I just buff up this Yeti lane. Now Yetis are frost mobs, remember, so all of the considerations with frost mobs are going to come into play. They are going to take double damage versus fire damage, so let's fire these guys up big time. And I'm going to go ahead and throw a few more fissures here, and theoretically, we'll see how it goes, but this should handle this lane without any problems, and I should be able to ignore this corner of the map. Now we had some more Yetis over here, so let's go ahead and head that way. Now, remember, this lane is not going to get stunned, so the Yetis are going to have no stun whatsoever, so let's definitely dish out some extra pain right on top of them and throw two more fissures right there. Now, in addition to that, I always like to have multiple DPS in my deck ready to go to be able to handle any situation. My monk is normally my primary DPS, as most of you know. I just love some monk action, and I'm going to be active on the wave on this one. However, I also want to be prepared for an emergency and to be able to get across the map quick. So I'm going to throw the Gun Witch as well. That way, if I do need to traverse the map very, very quickly, I've got the Gun Witch here to help me out with that. So let's go ahead and get to some Mega Waves started and see how it goes. I'm going to focus right here on Nash first things first. Even though I got the wall, I'm not relying on it. I'm going to make sure Nash is dead, and then I'm going to move right on over to these Bastille Masters. So let's check it out. Nash was kind enough to roll out the gate really, really fast for me. And we've got one Nash down. It actually looks like the Bastille Masters are stuck. Or no, there's one coming. So one Bastille Master was stuck, but certainly not all of them. And Bastille Master's down from a well-timed Nuke Monk. We've got another Nash rolling out. Now remember, as these are rolling, just keep an eye on the minimap. Now don't lose focus on what's going on right in front of you. However, the minimap does tell all. So make sure you keep an eye on that mini-map. And here goes the Bastille Master wrecking everything, but she got taken down in the process. And then, as I mentioned, we're saving the rollers for last. And we've only got 3 mobs left. And it's all these rollers. So let's go ahead and dish out the pain right here. And it should be a good game from that point on. One more roller. And there we go. And that was a floor 84 Mega Wave, or Omega Wave, pardon me. And they can catch you off guard. There's no doubt about it. Make sure you take your time, look over the lanes, make sure you are squared away. Don't hesitate to use walls, and soak up that extra DU you had from your anti-air defenses, as you just don't need them for that Omega Wave. So hopefully this helps everyone get through some of their Omega Waves in the Isle of Dread update for Dungeon Defenders 2. Let me know down in the comments below any tips or tricks you may have found. And thank you all once again for watching. Don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to the channel. It does really help me out by showing your support. And I will see you all next time around. Take it easy.